Yo, people, lateness is greatness. Welcome back into the building. You already know what time it is. It's time for another all-you-can-eat Chelsea show, and the casting crew ready to go again for this mad episode because we've got a lot to talk about. This game yesterday was absolutely nuts. I am still tired as hell. That extended my bedtime beyond nerd hours, as Toby would say. Late for school this morning and whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying? Miz, how are you doing, bro? How you feeling?
Yeah, a bit exhausted actually after that. That was a long match as well with the suspension in the middle. And that was tough, man. That was actually a tough game. And as Thomas Tuchel said, it's the first time he's ever felt that we didn't deserve to win. Like we stole 3 points. This is what he said. So that's how I felt at the end of the watch along. And, when we all watched, I felt like, yeah, we did steal 3 points there.
Yeah.
But we move, man. We move.
And Younes, bro, how are you doing? How are you feeling after that wild match?
Yeah, man, I'm good. The one game we didn't deserve to win. You know what? I'll take it because against United we kind of did, didn't we? So it's kind of balanced out. So you know what? Screw it. Points of 3 points. I don't care. But yeah, that game was ridiculous. Let's have it right. And yeah, shout out to the both of you for your watch-alongs that you've done in my absence, because the one game I chose not to do a watch-along and it goes on for like 3.5 hours. I'm just like, you know what? I'll take it because it's not easy. So fair play to you both, man. Fair play to you both. But I'm good.
Yeah, we held it down, man. We held it down. It was a long-ass game. It was obviously, and not only that, but it was extremely draining. I said in my preview to the game, I felt like this was going to be one of those difficult matches. It reminded me of the Watford away when we lost 4-1 under Conte. Not obviously with the result and the performance, but similar just vibes. Prior to the game, I felt like Wolves away under Lampard. I felt like it was going to be a difficult night, midweek, winter. December's here, winter is here, and I felt like it was going to be a tough game, man. Some of those games in December away from home against the smaller teams in midweek, especially, they're just problems. They really are, and I know they had a lot of injuries, but we clearly also did as well, and it showed. And it just goes to show our squad depth is kind of meaty. And we saw that in the Carabao Cup games a little bit. We're going to penalties twice as well that we struggle. And I don't really know where to start because that game, it was just absolutely chaotic. It was proper classic British game. Like it was. Fouls and tackles and
Sean Dyche, 4-4-2, Brexit, have it. Like pub after the game.
Let's have it.
Or literally, Pulisic was getting taken out in the first half. Then they decided to go for Ziyech in the second because they wanted a new target.
They were physical.
I think the first talking point for me has got to be the suspension and obviously the disappointment of what Miz was saying backstage, and I seen it in my live chat as well. It's just fans just lacking human decency. Do you know what I'm saying? And wanting the game to continue or chanting that the game should continue while someone is literally in a life or death situation. And we've had so many. And my biggest issue is with, again, human decency is not common. Unfortunately, sometimes, but. We actually had quite a few of these heart-related issues this year in football. We've had Eriksen on the pitch. We've had Aguero who's had to retire. We've had a fan at Newcastle versus Tottenham. Now we've had this one as well. Like, you'd think people would be a bit more sympathetic to the situation. Well, not that they shouldn't have been already anyway.
There was another incident happening at the Leicester-Southampton game as well at half-time.
I heard.
So it's crazy. Players as well. There was one last Saturday in the Championship or League One, I think it was. If you see the clip from Soccer Saturday, Jeff, we all know Jeff, good old Jeff, literally talking to one reporter, and she's like, "Yeah, the game's been stopped. Someone's had a heart issue in the stands." It's crazy what's going on. You gotta have when you see this popping up like mushrooms. Yeah, you got to expect it now when you go to a football game, which is crazy because before that wasn't the case. But these fans that are going on. Someone's having a heart attack. That could have been you or anyone else. So to try and get on with the game is stupid. And if we're talking just based on logic, not just human decency and having some sort of sympathy towards someone's life, but logic. You know, if you got doctors belonging to both teams or physios or medical staff that are now attending to the guy in the stands, how the hell do you want the game to continue when, you know, all your medical staff is in the stands dealing with someone? So you got not just have decency in terms of, you know, compassion to someone's life, but have some common sense and some logic, please. You know, it's ridiculous. Some fans, it's ridiculous. But hey, you know, it's what it is. You can't change the world, I guess. And some people are
lack of brain cells. I mean,
and you know what? This is the message that I always drive in, especially with, you know, sports being so involved in social media these days, and you know, there's so much exposure in Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, obviously, and I consistently see people, you know, misbehaving, insulting, and I sort of say to myself, man, it's football. Like, why is there a need to insult another human being because of a football opinion?
Yeah.
Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Like, it's a goddamn it football opinion. It's not about, I'm not talking about your heritage, your history.
Even politics is more, you know, politics would be more, you know, controversial.
Exactly. It's the amount of people that get upset and take things so personally. It's mad. It's so mad. Like, I'll give you a perfect example, right? Football is it's a game of perception. You could see it one way, Younes. Matisse can see it one way. I could see it one way. We could watch the same match and have 3 different views of it. But none of us are right or wrong. We just have a different perception. We've been trained that way when we were little, and as we were growing up, we've been trained to see the match in a way, and that's why we see different things. So I tweeted out post-match that for me, Mason Mount was a very standout attacker, right? He was probably for me the most standout attacker. I know Kai Havertz was really good in the second half, but for me, Mason, even from first half, he battled well. He was up for the physicality. He looked like he wanted to take the fight to Watford because Watford was bringing the fight to us. Gets himself the goal, really good finish, gets himself an assist. And I tweeted it out, and the amount of people requoted that saying, oh, so nothing about Havertz? Oh, you got nothing to say about Havertz? I'm like, this isn't my only tweet ever. I may have subsequent tweets for Havertz. This isn't
the amount of times you do a tweet and people think that's the whole game review. He must have nothing else to say. The whole game. Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, and some people were taking it so personally. I'm like, dude, it's just a tweet. I will delete it if you're upset. I don't want you to be upset because it's not worth it. I don't want you to have stressful time. I will delete it if that's how. And this is what I'm trying to get to is that.
Ladies and gentlemen, now you see why I left Twitter. Just saying. Keep going.
This is what I was saying in my watch along as well. That guys, there's a person that is literally battling for life. It just makes football look like this.
Yeah,
it's tiny.
Big time.
Don't get upset. Don't insult. Enjoy the game. Give your opinion. Be passionate, of course, be passionate. And then move on, man. Just move on. No need to insult others. No need to be derogatory. Don't need to demean. Honestly, that moment when it was suspended, boys, I don't know how you guys are. Obviously, Matisse, you had pizza. Younes wasn't there. I was having a mad flashback about life. I was like, oh, my God. Like, it can just go like that, man. It's just, we just need to respect each other a lot.
The thing is, football... and it's crazy, as you said, some people take it personally and start, you know, insulting or coming up with views like the lads in the stands yesterday. Football, I think for most, I'd hope, I know it is for me, is an escape from, you know, those sort of things that happen in the real world. You know, it's that time where you just switch off and you focus on the one thing that you love and you enjoy, and it's like, yeah, okay, let's watch this, and you know, it should be a peace of mind. It should be some sort of a therapy to people. Some people bring the issues of what they have in the real world, and you know, whether it's political stuff or whether it's to do with, you know, all sorts of I don't know, feuds or personal opinions and all that sort of madness. But they bring it over into the game. And it creates situations like this. And it's like, no, just, have some compassion for people, man. Just enjoy the football. It's a sport.
Yeah, legit. For me, it's just like, it's like Miss said, it's like, it is literally minuscule in comparison. It is nothing, literally nothing. It is a game against Watford on a Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is literally nothing. But a game against Watford on a Wednesday night is what we're here to discuss. Yeah, it's what we shall dive into, because that performance in the first half was it was traumatizing. Honestly, it was actually ridiculous. The first 13 minutes we had no control, and again, what we were saying backstage, it just goes to show how important Jorginho is. And I was just starting to get into this frame of mind of just relaxing on my stance of the midfield is imbalanced, even though I've said at the start of the season so much that it really is imbalanced. There is no second six, and it is like so many box-to-box midfielders alongside just one Jorginho who's a six, and everybody else just can't sit. And there was no COVID, there was no Kante, and I know sometimes they can put in a shift together, but yesterday just really emphasized once again that the midfield is imbalanced. And both of the guys in the midfield were poor. I don't think it's a coincidence. Like I said at the weekend, I don't think it's a coincidence outside of Callum missing his own shots, and that was something that he needs to just fix himself. I don't think it was a coincidence that Callum dropped his worst performance in front of Alonso. I don't think it's a coincidence that Ruben dropped his worst first half performance probably with Saul. I think against Aston Villa, I think Kova was playing next to Saul, and he was awful as well, because he, basically in midfield by himself. But not whatever the issue was with him when he received the ball, there was just absolutely no need to try and spin Sissoko. And I just don't like it when we concede goals of our own demise, because I feel like our structure is so solid. When was the last time we seen Rudiger in the box 1v1 with someone trying to defend? It was something that I haven't had to see for about a year. Do you know what I'm saying? It was just so unnecessary. And the same with Manchester United, another goal of our own doing. So it's frustrating that was our first open play goal as well. We conceded away from home this season in the Premier League. So it just goes to show that those things are just really unnecessary. But we spoke last week about Alonso, and he's gonna be he's gonna be a drop off from Chilwell. We're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of things. And yesterday, although he was good going forward in a few moments, and he definitely got involved with the first goal and the second goal, defensively and in general play, if you look at Chelsea's pass map, it's all down the right-hand side, just like it was against Man United, lopsided. And if you look at Watford's attack, it's all down the left-hand side of our defense. Again, channeling that Alonso energy of finding out that he's the weakest link. And there were so many times where he just didn't close down the marker on the left, and he was allowing a lot of space, and he wasn't in tune with being aggressive, whether it was, getting to his man and stopping a cross or et cetera, et cetera. How much patience, Miz, do you have for Alonso left wing back? Like, how many more games before you try Saul, which was what we spoke about last week? And I'm seeing a lot of people give up on Saul, but in my opinion, Saul just can't play midfield in the Premier League right now. Can't scan, no anticipation, no awareness. But at left wing back, the whole pitch is available for you to see. It's a different position.
I'm starting to feel a bit dangerous now. I think I'm going to get violent now. I just thought about it, that was a frustrating game to watch, and I need to drop some truth now. I don't know.
He's about to go full Mourinho.
All of a sudden, I'm just feeling this energy that's just telling me, Miz, just effing explode and let it all out, because that was rubbish, and I'm feeling very, very violent right now. So no holds barred. I'm going to say it how it is. You can hate it. For the people that are going to watch this live in the premiere, you can bring me insults or whatever you want to do, even though I told you don't take it personally. But it is what it is. Alonso is simply not good enough. He's not good enough. He's not. I don't care. I don't care if he was good early in the season. I do not care. One bit. Like, seriously, I'm fed up. The quicker we realize that he's not good enough, the better it is for us. He's there now because we don't have Ben Chilwell. All right, let's get that straight. He can do bits and pieces. Everything is bits and pieces with Alonso. He can do something up front, but then he won't do something in the midfield. Sometimes he'll do something in defense, but then he can't do that in further. Like it's never a complete package. It's bits and pieces here and there. The goal that we scored against Watford, it was off a really nice ball from Rudiger, finding Alonso in a free space, and Alonso driving in, finding a pass to Kai Havertz, gets himself that
great touch. I just got to say, it was a great touch.
Yeah.
Gets himself a pre-assist. Tick. Kudos to you, Alonso. You've done a great job there. But moments later, defensively, he was poor. Do you know what I mean? Clumsy tackle, gives away a yellow card.
Oh God, when he had that yellow card, I was actually shitting it. I was like,
that was so clumsy. Yep. And I was just so worried the whole second half that he was going to do it again, because he does not have that. He doesn't know like where he is. I think sometimes, like, he just doesn't know. You know, have you ever come across certain individuals? They just don't know where they are. They're just looking around. It's like there's nothing saved in the memory that they've just got a yellow card. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. So what they do? They go and try and emulate that same situation again so they can get another yellow card. I was just worried. And look, as I said, enough of being nice, man. If this player is still here next season, it's a massive, massive no for us. And some people were saying, oh, well, Thomas Tuchel, look at him praising. You think Thomas Tuchel doesn't know the difference between having Ben Chilwell and Alonso? You think he doesn't know that? You're telling me just because
the data clearly shows it. I'm sorry, but the average says it. Like the way that we build up, how lopsided we are, and how much it compromises just how balanced we are. I mean, we literally are doubled up on the right hand side with Reece James against Manchester United, because everybody knows, you don't have to look after the other side as much, and defensively it's lopsided as well.
Matisse, do you remember last week when we talked about compromise? Having Alonso is compromise. Already the first game of Alonso, Reece James had to go to left wing back.
Yeah.
When was the last time, ladies and gentlemen, you saw Reece James at left wing back? Why is he going to left wing back?
I've never seen him over there.
Why is Reece James going there? Why? When he's been balling it right wing back. Alonso taken off because something was missing. As I said, he can do bits and pieces, but he can't give you the complete package. And with that player against Watford, every attack against Watford for the first 30 to 45 minutes, Dennis was just laughing on that side. He was laughing. It got to a point where I actually started saying to the live chat, hey, this Dennis player is pretty good. Like, what's he all about? And then a lot of people were saying, Miz, don't fall for it. It's Alonso's side. Dennis may look really good this game, and he may be a good player, but he's being made to look really good now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, oh man, no. This is what I would like to see Saul. Look, I don't even want to talk about Saul. And I just
because I had a hard time convincing people that Saul should ever play. A lot of people are saying Saul should never play again. I think that's obviously a bit extreme because we're going to need him. But I agree that in centre midfield, I think his time might be up now, because I can't lie, he just doesn't have the capacity.
In midfield, he should never play again. I'm sorry, it's done. When
we talk about Saul, we'll get to I'm fed up, man.
If we're talking about the whole wing-back situation, and if you guys heard Thomas Tuchel after the game, he did have in his head the option of taking Alonso off and putting Saul on, notably because Alonso was on a yellow card. But he did say to experiment in a game like that where Watford were actually causing trouble is risky. It's too risky. You can't just play someone in a position and you're experimenting when you're actually on the brink of actually not taking 3 points. So he didn't go ahead with it. But you can see in his head, he's thinking about it. And it's definitely an option if Alonso keeps the imbalance like this, which I think he is going to do, that Saul might get an opportunity at left wing back.
Because I watched your review. I know you gave him some credit as well. I did as well for what he did in attack, because I just didn't feel the need to repeat myself. I already knew, everybody that knows me knows I don't rate him, so it's fine. I don't need to go on again about his deficiencies. I've said that already. I didn't feel like in the review I needed to even mention what he did poorly again, because everybody already knows what I think on this.
It's clear, it's obvious.
Yeah, it's obvious. Yeah. It's almost like, taking a duck to water at this point. But my biggest thing is that a lot of people take the 2017 situation, and my biggest thing is not only was that a long time ago, but we didn't play in Europe. And I think if this Chelsea team are to compete in 2 competitions, there's no way in hell he can play weekend, midweek. And Premier League under Conte, cool. That's one thing. Going up in the Champions League against Gnabry, Vinicius, or whoever the hell, Sané, like, seriously, it cannot happen. We will be dumped out of the Champions League by the finer margins with this man on that left-hand side. Because if Premier League teams like Watford and Dennis are targeting him over there, I have no idea what Europe's elite will do on that side of the pitch. And Liverpool and Man City, if we catch them in the quarters. Like, seriously, it cannot happen. I know he started the season well. I know, but he cannot be the only proper left wing back in the squad if Chilwell's out for the rest of the season. We have to enter January. Like, unless Saul drops some masterclasses until Christmas, which is what we're waiting for if he gets an opportunity. I saw before the game as well, the manager was saying that Callum Hudson-Odoi was a potential option as well. And again, I don't want to see Callum sacrificed again, but it might get to that if Alonso doesn't improve and Saul doesn't work out over there. But if we don't see drastic improvement before the January window, we have to act. And that's what the old Chelsea would do. They would go into the market and they would go and get a proper left wing back. And I know it leaves us bloated in the summer. And I know, it can cause people to be unhappy. But the Premier League title is more important than anybody's happiness. And so, and the Champions League, this is for me a great opportunity to compete for that again. Is more important than anybody's happiness as well. So the time is ticking. It's the 2nd of December. I've seen the first game of December now, and they've probably got 6 or 7 more, or whatever it is in this month. And if they haven't fixed up themselves by then, this whole category of players that can play in this position, whoever gets tried out, then for me, 1st of January, we should be making bids as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it might have to be done.
I just want to add one more thing. People sometimes say, okay, well, Alonso might have had a bad game, but then why is Rudy having a bad game? Or why is, for example, as you said, Matisse, Callum having a bad game? We need to realize when a particular player on a side is producing, as I said, bits and pieces or a stinker or just not a complete package as you should for a Premier League side like Chelsea that's in the title contendership. When that player, you can't look at it as an individual section. That player's game affects the forward player and the defender as well, and also the midfielder. So anyone associated in that sort of vicinity all starts getting exposed.
Yeah,
Rudiger, we've seen him with barnstorming runs. We didn't see one run from him against Watford. He was literally just pinned back. And he looked like he was very frustrated every time he was screaming. He looked like he was like shouting at someone, come on, do this, do that. Because it was all coming from the left side. Even the goal that we conceded, Rudy was track backing. Generally, Rudy's not like that. He'll close it down. All of this affects, it has domino effect. When a particular player is not feeling or playing well, vulnerability seeps into the team. Your attacker starts feeling a bit strange, like Callum. Your defender starts feeling a bit strange. Your midfielder starts feeling a bit strange. So it has an impact. When Chilwell was balling, it lifted Callum. It lifted the midfielder. It lifted Rudy to the point where he thought, you know what, I might go for a run as well now. So you got to think. You got to think deep as to what's going on. And for you to even think that Tuchel doesn't see that, he 100% sees that.
And also, you're right. Yeah, because, sorry, go on, Younes.
No, you also, just to add on to that, for those that have played some sort of level of football, you'll know that there's relationships on the pitch.
Yeah.
If you're playing alongside like a Callum Hudson-Odoi, for example, when he's got Chilwell, with him just behind on that left-hand side, and they are, within a game of 11v11, there are certain little mini games going on, you could say. So it is a case of on the left-hand side, you'll have Chilwell and Hudson-Odoi coming up against whoever's on their right wing or their right back. And it's a case of those two forming a relationship to overcome the other two.
Yeah.
And if you just, for those that have played some sort of level, you'll know that if there is someone that you just bond with, it lifts your game. You feel comfortable. You have a little bit more freedom to your game because you know you're covered and you know that you're covering them and they feel the same about you. And it's just chemistry. That is just pure chemistry. When that disappears and you have someone who you're not as close with, that can limit you. All of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm not so sure how to approach this. Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I not? Is he comfortable? Is he covered? Is he not? It can completely affect your game. So yeah, like with Alonso on the pitch, you gotta realize, like you just pointed with Rudiger not being able to bomb forward. Of course he wouldn't, because he knows if Alonso's a liability and Rudiger's gone up for a madness and the ball's been lost, possession's been lost, now he's having to chase back and Alonso isn't there because we know he can't cover as well as Chilwell. Well, they're gonna score, aren't they? Let's face it.
Yeah.
So Rudiger can't do that. It is a domino effect. It is a domino.
And
effect.
this showed in so many performances on that pitch, because the relationships, like you said, it's no surprise to me that Kovacic against Aston Villa had his worst game probably this season in the first half with Saul. It's no surprise that then Loftus-Cheek has his worst game maybe this season alongside Saul in midfield. I know he wasn't great against Man United, but this was probably worse. Yep. But then in the second half, when Trevor goes into midfield, Loftus-Cheek does improve a little bit, and he shows that he's a little bit better.
Yeah.
And of course, there's individual moments that you are responsible as a footballer, regardless of who you're paired with. Loftus-Cheek is responsible for giving the ball away, regardless of Saul being on the pitch or not for the goal. Callum Hudson-Odoi is responsible for not scoring against De Gea, against Manchester United in the first few minutes, regardless of whether he's with Alonso. Yeah. But just overall, in a half of football, those relationships make the players around them weaker. And that's how you identify who the weakest people in the squad are, who make people around them worse and who make people around them better. Thiago Silva makes people around him better.
Yeah.
That's how we know he's one of the best players in the team.
Yeah.
Saul makes people around him right now worse. That's how we know he's one of the worst players in the team. And so on. And it's no surprise to me that Pulisic, who played in the left forward position, had a pretty poor game by his standards. No shots, 2 forward passes, 7 backward passes, 1 completed out of 8 sideward passes all game from him. And he wasn't that threatening. And again, individually, as a moment, it's his fault that he didn't pick out Kai on time and it was offside. But overall, his game seemed to be maybe compromised. Again, maybe it's an assumption, but if the same players pair with different players and those different players keep playing shit, whether it's on the left wing or centre midfield, I have to look at the consistent theme here is that you keep playing. They keep looking poor. And at least with Alonso, he started the season well. Saul, I mean, he's got nowhere to lean on because he's been awful. Is there any coming back from this? Do you think, Miz, in terms of him, like, is there any revival from this guy, or do you think he's just out of pocket?
We're in December now, so he arrived in August. So what's that? August, September, October, November, December. So it's about 4 or 5 months, sort of time. You think by now he would have at least adapted a little bit to the point where he can make a 6-yard pass, like he can make a simple pass. He's at a point where forget about the big crazy debut that he had against Aston Villa. That he got mauled in that particular match. He absolutely got battered. Forget about that one. Yeah. This one, all of those incidences happened. So you'd think that, okay, you know what? And Thomas Tuchel has been saying that he's been showing he seems ready in training ground. He's looks like he's ready. He comes in. There was no presence from him in defense. There was no presence of him in midfield. There was no presence of him in attack to connect. So you were non-existent. It was almost as if we had 10 players. So you were just a nobody. You were just a shadow that was just running around. And every time you got the ball and you looked for a pass, you passed it to the Watford player and you got dispossessed. And you looked like you weren't interested to get to the ball. Like you were trying to hide behind players and not.
You look lost.
And I didn't want to have the camera on him, wanted to sort of stay away from everything. It looked like that. He wanted to hide
Very
behind
hard to
Mendy if he
avoid
could.
the camera.
Yeah, like he wanted to hide behind Mendy if he could. Maybe behind the goals if he could. And I don't know whether pivot is the right position for him. This whole system, I don't think is suitable for Saul. I just don't think. In fact, the only position I think is suitable is left wing back. That's the only position.
That's my last hope. I just want to see it. I'm not even saying it's going to work, but it's the last resort. If that doesn't work, then I don't know.
He's not an inside forward. He's definitely not a false nine. He definitely can't play as a pivot unless you play maybe a Chalobah as a pivot, like someone who's just going to sit deep and then you allow Saul to roam around. But that's no good for Saul. Saul doesn't want to see the ball. He's scared of the ball. He wants to stay away from it. So you need to pack up bags, man. You need to pack that up right now. You need to leave because this is not happening for you. Look, sometimes as a player, you need to put your hand up and say, the Premier League's not for me. Let me go back to La Liga. If it's not Atletico Madrid, then I don't know, Rayo Vallecano or whoever else they've got over there. Real Santander. What else you got? Malaga. Do they still play in La Liga? Go and find yourself a club there, man. I think you'll be sorted.
Deportivo La Coruña.
Deportivo La Coruña. Go and play Osasuna. Well, play for them, man.
We've definitely downgraded from Gilmore 100% in that midfield.
Oh my god,
yeah, big time. Big time. You know,
Big
Saul, the only position he can play right now is left back on the plane back to flipping Atletico.
Left back in the plane.
Yeah, I'm much hope for the left wing back experiment.
I mean, we can try it out. We can try it out. But look, he's not a left back or a left wing back. You know, we're only doing this because he's played there a few games for Atletico, and he's left footed. So we're on this hope now that, yeah, you know what? Maybe he can do it. I guarantee when he does play there, which he will, I think he'll be experimented at some point, that he might do all right, but he won't be the savior. He won't be the guy that goes, oh, look, I think we're all right. We've got this guy. I don't see it. Why? Because of the point Miz has just said. I just think the Premier League isn't his level. I just don't think he can keep up with the pace and the speed and the physicality of the game. I just don't. And those are the basics, regardless of position. In fact, if we're talking logically, if you can't do it in midfield, where sometimes you do have a little bit of time, where sometimes, you know, we're talking the fundamentals here, like him passing a 6-yard pass.
I just think he just doesn't scan.
Well, exactly.
But my thing is that if he plays left wing back, he can see the whole pitch, so he's got no blind spots. So in possession, I expect him to be better. Out of possession, I think wingers will absolutely chop his ass up.
The thing is, it's a very, very fast position. Like, yes, in midfield, it's a position of you having to think quick and you having to have awareness.
Yeah.
At left wing back, it's you having to be able to keep up with the pace in terms of who's on the overlap, who's cutting in. You being able to bomb forward, quick, get back. It's so much more physical. I just don't think mentally he keeps up with the speed of the game in midfield, and I don't think physically he'll keep up with the space on the wing.
Yeah, that's right.
I just don't think it's gonna work. So yeah, left back on the plane, mate. See you later. And with all due respect, because he seems like a nice guy, so I just hope he goes to Atletico and succeeds.
And I want to add one more thing, and I'm getting that vibe again. I'm getting mad again inside. All of these players are making me mad today. It's making me mad.
We're going to talk about happy things soon. Don't worry.
People tell me, but Miz, it's a bit harsh on Saul. He doesn't get enough game time. How's he going to find that? Shut your mouth. Honestly, just shut your mouth. He's a fringe player. The whole idea about fringe players is you're not going to get enough game time. And when you do get that game time, you need to grab it with both hands.
Miz is cutting a promo like The Rock here. Go on.
I mean,
know your role. And
no, shut your mouth and know your role. Like seriously, I mean, life is not just pretty roses and great breakfast and great. No, it's a freaking struggle. All right, it's a struggle. Nothing gets given to you on a plate. Everything is tough. Everything is difficult. Ask each and every one of us how tough we've had to do. Ask Matisse how he's been growing his YouTube channel. You think he's just woke up one day and there's 20,000 subscribers? Busted his backside for like ages to build up a network so that he can get here. Younes has started his God knows, third or fourth YouTube channel to finally get to a point where he can reach 1,000 subscribers. You think he didn't have the talent before?
1,000?
Sorry, 100,000. 100,000.
You need a shout out, bro.
I'm losing my mind. What I'm trying to get to is life's difficult. All right, you're a fringe player. Know your role. Understand it. Appreciate it. Embrace it. Love it. You're a fringe player. When you get the opportunity, you better act like Unleashed, like Jet Li in that movie. Come out like a dog on fire. You want to eat people up. But you coming out like a chihuahua. Like you don't want to deal with anything. You just, do you know what I mean? Like, why should I have any sort of minutes? Yeah, why should I have any sympathy for you? No, Thomas Tuchel, don't give him any minutes. In fact, I wouldn't even let him in training. You don't deserve to train.
He's going to be that guy like Nuno. When Nuno showed up to the Wolves training ground, he tries to open the door and he's like, no, I'm going to have to go around the back. Like,
because honestly, Younes, I'd be actually telling you, what are you training for? Why are you training for? What match? Because every time I put you on, you shoot a blank.
Wow.
What are you doing? Don't train. Go home, play PlayStation. Go. Enough.
He might score a hat-trick on the PlayStation. He might.
Probably not with himself. Probably with Reece.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's definitely struck nerves today. I'm not gonna lie, because his performance was whack, man. And you know what? And I keep saying this as well, is that the reason why, and this is basic, but there's a reason why Pep says that he likes to defend with the ball, because ball retention means less possession for the opposition, and less possession for the opposition means less chances created for the opposition. And it's no surprise that we drop our 70%, 65% to a 50%, and we concede more chances in open play. Mendy has to make save after save after save. Danny Rose, he has to make a save from, I think, King, maybe when he was assisted by Dennis. I can't remember who it was. The header, the long shot. Like, Mendy had to work today. And the last time I remember him working this hard was probably Brentford. Another game we had no control of. So keeping possession and people that can retain the ball, very important. Very important. Because when we have the ball, yeah, some people might say it's boring. Why are we not constantly attacking? Just having the ball means we don't concede. And I feel like sometimes people enjoy defending off the ball, without the ball, and they like blocks and slide tackles and socks getting dirty, and they appreciate the defending then, but they don't actually appreciate the defending when we have the ball, because it looks too easy or it's clean and it's tidy. I prefer when we defend with the ball personally. I didn't like last night. Last night was not enjoyable to watch. It was traumatizing, like I said, and I have never exerted so much energy on a watch along. I felt like I went for a run. I felt like I lost 10 kilograms. I need to eat today. I need to bulk up, because that was mad. I prefer when we defend with the ball, when we have control, because then I feel in control as well, and I can sit here and I can watch in peace.
Facts. Get those carbs in. No, you know what? The fact that yesterday we finished the game with literally 50-50 possession against Watford, they had more shots than us, more chances. That's not normal. So yeah, definitely you have to look at ourselves and go, you know what? When you have players like a Jorginho on the pitch, when you have players, that are capable of retaining the ball, moving the ball, getting into position, moving quickly, being there for each other, chances are we're going to win that game comfortably. And yeah, when it comes to like Saul, you know what? Seeing as he's based in Spain, seeing as he's based out in Spain, we can do some sort of thing, So send him to Atletico. You know who we should bring in, Ballon d'Or winner, Alexa Putellas. Bring her, because she balls. She's a baller. And I know some people know how I feel about that woman, but the moment I saw her play in that Champions League final against us, my jaw hit the floor, and I'm like, "Oh my God, she's like reincarnated."
I'm ready to call her Mrs. Younes.
Mate, she's unreal. So yeah, look, if we had her, mad. We don't need to worry. Bring Alexa Putellas to Chelsea.
Oh God, honestly. I mean, it's about time I brought up some happy things because we've cleared all the negatives, and I needed to clear the negatives because most of the game I felt like that's what the vibe was. That's what my live chat were cussing about. That's what I was cussing about. So it would be disingenuous if I started now just pretending like this game was a great performance. Now I think it's a game that we needed. I think in a season you're going to get a couple games like this. QPR away in 2015 strikes to mind where Fabregas scored a late winner. Fulham away under Lampard before he was sacked with Mason Mount scoring against 10 men. That strikes to mind. So there are a few games in the season where you just have to accept that we're going to be shit and we need to win. Cardiff away, Loftus-Cheek scoring the winner under Sarri. Games like that. So, it is what it is. It's not really a surprise either. I said it preview. I expected a rough game, and that's what we got. But we did get some good points, and we're all going to get to pick an attacker to praise here because I feel like there's three attackers that deserve some serious praise in that second half. I know Mason probably did a full game, but I'll start with Kai. I think Kai in the second half really stood up, and I was surprised because this is exactly the type of game. I said it on the byline. This is exactly the type of game where Kai hides or Kai goes missing. It's a physical battle. It's grim. It's dirty. It's a lot of fouls, a lot of stop starts. Like I said, the referee was kind of letting things go. Maybe wasn't policing the game as harshly as you'd want. Not really protecting our wingers because Ziyech was getting absolutely hacked in the second half. Pulisic was getting hacked in the first. But Kai with the assist for the first goal and just his general link-up play. Obviously, he had a goal that was offside, of course, because the pass was late from Pulisic. He just had a good game. He was better. He was much better. And in a game where I expected him to be pretty poor because of the occasion and the way that the game went, I was impressed. I was really happy. He's obviously got to do more. I think he's contributed to some goals in the last, few games. I think maybe I saw something like Newcastle and Burnley got a goal as well. Hopefully this is an upturn of goal contributions coming from our forwards. Ziyech, who's getting involved with goal contributions now.
All right, Ziyech, baby.
Yeah.
Your boy.
I knew as soon as I said his name, I knew I would bring a smile.
I better hear some good words from both of you guys today, yeah?
Talk about your Habibi. Go on.
Look, man, he's been quite clutch in recent times, right? Leicester, he comes in and he barnstorming performance. As soon as he came in, he was electric. Should have had 3 assists in that game. First one for Pulisic. I think he pulled the trigger and it was wide. Second one, Pulisic scored. Third one, Reece James, I think, scored, but it was slightly offside. So there would have been 3 assists there. And then the following game, he ended up getting a goal, I believe, in the Champions League.
Juventus came
Juventus,
on,
yes.
Yeah.
Got a goal, got an assist. Probably should have had a couple of more assists in that game as well. And Man United I don't think it was as bad as a lot of people were saying he was bad. It was bad. I think it was 50-50. There were bits and pieces where I didn't like, and then there was bits where I did like a lot. But that game was a bit disjointed in the final third. Everything else was fine. In the final third, we didn't know what was going on. So I can't really blame him.
A lot of his shots were on his right foot. He actually made me retract on Twitter because I watched it on Don Robbie's set with Lewis, and it's Man United. We don't care about performance on. We just want wins. We just want to score.
Just win.
We just want to score. It's very difficult to watch a game and analyze on a set like that when you're just it's just pure emotions really. It's just pure vibes. And he had a couple misses with his right foot, but they didn't fall on his left, which is unfortunate. We can see that he can shoot with his left. His right foot shooting wise is non-existent. So I thought in myself finishing wise he was wasteful, but everybody was kind of wasteful as well. But he actually had a good game. I called it an industrious Mason Mount type performance when I retracted it on Twitter. I felt like watching it back for the second time, he was getting involved in his duels. He was putting up a fight. He did create some chances. Yeah. Created a clear-cut chance for Werner. Created a clear-cut chance for Loftus-Cheek with the header with the corner. Yeah. I think there was another chance as well. I can't remember who it was to. So he had a better showing than most.
Absolutely, he definitely wasn't one of the worst players. I mean, it wasn't a classic sort of Ziyech kind of performance, but no one was classic up front in that game. And the fact that Alonso took 10 corners or something ridiculous, or why wasn't Ziyech taking it and Alonso was being in the box for his height? So then you have that, and then he comes off the bench in this particular game, and once again, he was hungry. He was looking buzzing. He looked like he wanted to make an impact. But I said it in my watch along, and literally 2 or 3 minutes later, he scored.
Yeah,
I said,
I was going to get to this.
Everything he was doing, Ziyech, was poor. His passing was poor. His shooting was poor. But I said to the watch along, in the watch along, I said, guys, don't be surprised one bit if Ziyech pops in for a goal, because I can feel it. Because that energy, I just, yes, everything he's doing is not right, but the intent is right. The intent is right, and he's going to get in and get a goal. Literally 3 minutes later, he scored, and everyone in the live chat was, oh my God, he was just saying that. He was just, because that's the type of player Ziyech is. He's not there, to be the bits and pieces sort of player. He's there to go for the high risk, high reward. And the other thing that I want to say to you guys, and I'm going to tweet this out later on, see what the response is. Have you guys noticed Ziyech's the type of goals he's been scoring, predominantly for Chelsea? It's coming in late into the box, boom, scores. He's done that with Werner. He's done that with Kai Havertz in the Super Cup. He's now done it with Mason Mount. A lot of his goals are like that, where he just comes in, drifts into the box, and he finds himself open, nicely positioned for a free shot. And he got that in. He should have got that header from Kai Havertz's cross as well against Watford. That header was clean, and he needed to direct, and that would have been in. So Ziyech, out of all our players that drifts into the box, he's probably the one that understands. And I think that's where the Ajax days comes in, where he just knows where to position himself.
Where to arrive.
Box. When to arrive. A lot of our players don't know when to arrive into the box, right? So for me, look, it's still not enough. He needs to continue on like this because he started the preseason in an electric fashion. Up until he got injured, he was really good. Then the injury came. And this, you know what? Sometimes, boys, I just realized we underplay injuries a lot. I think us fans, we underplay the impact of injury and how long it actually takes. Look at Lukaku. Even though he came off the bench against Watford, I still don't think he's completely in himself. Like, I don't think he's confident yet. That's why he doesn't start. I expected him to start against Watford. But Thomas Tuchel knows best. He sees that. And he said it in the press conference. He may think he's ready, but he's not Premier League ready. Do you know what I mean? So I think we need to realize that injury that Ziyech had in his shoulder, all of a sudden now he's playing well. So is it the fact that it just took a little bit of time to just get over that situation, and now we're seeing the fruits of it? And I hope it continues like this, and we'll see what happens. The verdict is still on him, whether he's going to stay or not. But if he continues to be a game changer for us, I can't see why not continue on until your contract sort of ends. So
I think, like you were saying, I was doing my watch along as well, and literally there was a pass in midfield that he put out of play, and then there was one that was under hit for a counter, and I was like, man, I was just defending you, because I've had him in my starting 11 for the last 2 games, Man United and this game, because I feel like he has improved and he does deserve it. I'm all about merit. But then he put those. I was like, come on, man, please don't do this, Habibi. Then he scores, fantastic. But then I look back at the stats as well, and it seems like he's having impact off the bench. And I'm wondering, is that because I've always thought Ziyech needs to start in a team. He needs to be the epicenter. He needs to play continuously, game in, game out, get a rhythm going, chemistries, connections on the pitch. That seems like that idea of what he was doing at Ajax right now for me is getting blown out of the water with the impact of the bench. Is he someone that is almost better off I mean, Younes, how do you see it? Because it seems like this guy is better off the bench right now, if anything. I don't know.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And I pointed it in my review yesterday. It's clear this season that when he starts, he doesn't have the same impact as he does when he comes off the bench. When he comes off the bench, he, rightly said by Miz, the energy he brings, especially whilst everyone is already 60 minutes in. And this guy comes, he's fresh. He comes onto the pitch and the impact hits better than it does when he starts the game. And I'm starting to think that, you know what, maybe he's really good for the squad, really good for changing the balance in a game, but he should be brought off the bench a lot more than start. And I think that is how he's used best, not just in terms of the team, but even for his own performances. Because when he comes off the bench and he does that, brilliant. Happy days. Now, is he happy with that? Probably not, because he wants to start just like any other player wants to start. But right now, what it seems like is happening is his impact off the bench is better than it is when he starts. And, recently we've seen not just him, but some other players put in relatively, half and half dodgy performances. Ziyech, as of late, has actually done really well. But again, like yesterday, when he comes off the bench, the impact is mad. So maybe that's just how he's best fit and how he's best used. And I don't know, obviously, with his future up in the air, maybe that is just best how Chelsea use him for now, rather than try and force him into the team if we are eventually going to get rid. So, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what Tuchel does against West Ham. Because if he does have him on the bench, then maybe that's how he sees it. Where I always think when someone's playing well, you reward them with a start. So if he comes on and performs like that, my initial reaction as a person is to say, oh, he should start then because he deserves it. But maybe it won't go that way. I don't know. It will be interesting to see what they make of it if they see him as an impact player off the bench, or if they see him as someone who can start.
There are some players that are just better off the bench. That's it. That's just how they are. You remember Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he was playing? Super sub. He could never start a game. If he started a game, he was pants.
Is another example as well.
Yes. But every time he comes off the bench, mate, yes, sure, go and score the Champions League winner. No problem.
I'm thinking Pulisic is like that as well. I think he's a super sub man. Pulisic comes and brings a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have a few players like that. You're right. And obviously with Mason playing the way he did, I think Callum's been good before the Man United game. I think that left wing spot, I don't really know who to put there, because I think there's a case to make for Callum. If Ziyech doesn't start, there's obviously a case for Ziyech. There's a case for Mount in those positions behind Kai or Lukaku. I think it's got to be Kai or Lukaku at this point. I don't think Werner could ever go up there again by himself. I think, Werner's not a striker. He's not a lone striker. The only time I would have said maybe give him that go is against a high line like we did at Anfield. We tried it against Man United, maybe because we didn't want to do Pulisic back-to-back games, and Kai hasn't been playing prior to that as well. But in the Champions League, but we can't play him up top at all.
He's another one that needs to go, Matisse.
I was just about to say, talking about Werner, there's a whole topic.
Are we done?
No, we are going to be real here. We're going to drop the truth bomb right now. Werner's time's done. He has to move on. And, with Lewandowski's future, he wants to move from Bayern Munich. Werner, pick up the phone, talk to Nagelsmann, get it done, and just do us all a favor. Do yourself a favor.
He was linked with Manchester United as well because of Ragnar.
That ain't never happening.
So he's not for sale. He's not for sale.
Here's the thing.
I'm not going to lie. He's the type of player that has his price where I would actually sell him to Manchester United for a certain price.
Here's the thing.
There's certain players, because we've sold Matic and Matic
for a certain price. Yeah, you're right.
For a certain price, I think you can negotiate with anyone with someone like him.
For me,
although I've stuck up for him at times, I can't handle the finishing. It is something that this season he was in that category of players. Him, Ziyech, Pulisic, and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Those four were in a category of this is a big season for you. Ziyech, I want you to stay fit and be consistent as a playmaker with your impact. Pulisic, I need you to stay fit. Period. Werner, I need you to finish more opportunities that you get. And Callum, I need you to find your position and start delivering the business. That was the outline for these guys. And right now, Werner is probably losing that whole competition. Yeah.
Matisse, you're too nice, bro. You're too nice. Just say it. He needs to go. He needs to go. That's it. The bottom line, what Matisse was trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, he needs to go. Pack up the bags. We've seen enough. You have to go now and do it for yourself. The thing about Man United, if you're not a success at Chelsea, what makes you think all of a sudden you're going to be a success at Man United? Well, all of a sudden the defenders in the Premier League are going to change for you. All of a sudden there's space for you. All of a sudden your finishing is just going to improve. Because if it does, then you've been a naughty boy with us. You tricked us, and you should not do that. So, if Man United gets him, they get him. I mean, what are they going to do with Greenwood? Give us Mason Greenwood. Seriously. Let's do a swap.
Oh, God, can you imagine?
We'll take Mason Greenwood. You can have Timo Werner. I think that's evens.
Jadon Sancho. Greenwood would be ridiculous. I'm not going to lie.
Just give us Greenwood, man.
Yeah, it's mad.
He wasn't involved, obviously, but he's just a player that, since the last time we spoke, I feel like it's worth bringing up because of Man United. He's just... I've always said it. He's probably one of the most difficult people to analyze in football because at times you look at him and you're like, how did you become a footballer? But then at other times you really will respect and want to value his work rate and ethic and what he brings to the team in terms of chance creation just by being a pest. And I said it against Southampton when I went to the game. Him and Loftus-Cheek were probably the best players on the pitch because it's just that constant never say die attitude from Werner that actually just resulted in a goal eventually because he was just constantly causing issues. And he played a role last season. I think his goal contributions and his stats are inflated as hell because usually when someone has a good season up front, you just take their goals. Like a Lewandowski or Erling Haaland, you know? But with Werner, we have to put them together with the assists and we have to try and make a package deal. It's like trying to put together a little Microsoft presentation for your boss.
It's a McDonald's.
And you haven't got all the ingredients for the presentation, so you just start winging it. So we're taking assists and pre-assists and expected runs and sprints and shit.
Just to put it
all together. And I've even seen people counting.
What is expected runs?
I saw people counting offside goals.
Yeah.
I've never
He
seen
was meant to run there, but he didn't. He was meant to.
No, expected runs was basically based on if that pass had gone through, he would have been there because he made the run.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God.
We didn't spot
this needs to stop. We didn't
spot the run, so he didn't get the chance to do the potential goal.
We need to stop this. This needs to that's it. Sports science is developing. Now we've reached the pinnacle. It's done. Stop. All the scientists stop. No more. Leave it as it is. We're done.
Eunice, when do we start doing expected bullshit?
Exactly. Yeah, man.
When is that happening? The expected BS.
Oh my God.
Oh, expected excuse. No, listen. With Timo, yeah, it's not. This is different. When you look at actually, firstly, let's talk about the Man United thing. If he goes to Man United, you're right, Miz. The fact that defenders are not going to change, the things are not going to change. The Premier League's not changing. Truth is, Timo Werner's problem isn't his positioning, isn't the fact that he can't help create. He does everything. He gets the ball in a position to score. He's missing.
To be honest, he doesn't do anything. When he picks up the ball, Younes, and he's running towards a man, I think he's honestly just vibes. He just doesn't. Like Miz, yeah. This is why I call him a space creator and not a striker anymore. Everybody on this channel will know I don't call him a striker anymore. It's like he doesn't know where he is. When he's running towards someone, he doesn't know what to do. Does he do a step over? Does he go left? Does he go right? Does he dribble? Does he kick it in front of him? He's actually just winging it. You can tell he's doing what I would do if I was thrown into a Premier League game and I was going 1v1 with a centre-back. I'm winging it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just running. And whatever happens, happens. Technically, he's very, very limited. It's really, really difficult to watch how limited he is technically. Yeah. Where is the cutting inside and bending the ball into the far post? Where is this? Where is it?
Well, you know what? The fact that in Germany, that is where he hit his best. I think it's clear to see that German football and the way that it's all played over there. The high line defenses, the fact that there's certain aspect of the game that they focus over there that it isn't much of the focus here. Over there, I think he just found it easier, if I'm being real. And that's probably just his level in terms of having enough composure and confidence with that space to, bring himself to a level to go, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to score. I'm going to put it there. And he does it. Here, as I've said, the Premier League is a different beast. It's a different beast. It's a different gravy. I think a lot of people underestimate just how tough the Premier League is. It's mental. And there are some players that are just not cut out. And I feel like with Timo, this is different when you look at a Morata, for example. With a Morata, if this show existed back when Morata was here, and I know we all felt the same because we were all on YouTube anyway, but if the fact that Morata was playing this sort of way, all of us at the time were going, listen, just go. Just get out. Why? Because it wasn't just the fact that he was missing, and it was his attitude, it was his mentality, it was the way he brought himself down. He never picked himself up. He was waiting for others to do it for him. And it's like, mate, you're frustrating me, everyone, and yourself. Get out, yeah? Werner isn't that. We know Werner in terms of what he brings, his mentality, his attitude, his character, his bond with the players, his positivity. At times of struggle, he keeps himself up.
Everything you've listed, I said this last season. If that was Tammy Abraham, people would have been absolutely dragging him to the slaughter. Because if you can't finish, if you're Tammy Abraham, and you're missing the chances Werner's missing, and we're talking about working hard, and we're talking about attitude, and we're talking about post-match interviews, and I've done it as well. Slaughtered, absolutely slaughtered, and he didn't even cost anything. Werner cost.
Well, that's the thing.
47 million British pounds sterling with the Elizabeth's face smack on the middle. That's how much he cost. That's how much he cost, and we paid that much money. That's something that, like, if you're gonna have someone who can't do all of these things we've mentioned and brings all of these almost like group chat attributes, you don't pay money for that. Attitude, you don't pay money for that. That's what you get from Cobham for free and with no charge, and they're a squad player and they don't cost you much on the wage bill. This brother's earning 200,000 plus a week, and he costs 47 million pounds. And this is what we have to like, seriously. As Miss said, let's actually keep this a buck now. This is what we're talking about for someone that we paid for. I'm sorry, but we have players for free that can do these things.
This is the thing. It's that price tag that's gained him the patience and time. Because when fans look at that price tag, they go, well, he must not be shit. We've bought this guy. He was performing in Germany. There's something there, surely. So, all right, let's just give it a bit of time. We might see it. And that's what we've done. We've just given it time. When you look at someone like Tammy has come from the academy, it's very easy to just go, no, you're not good enough. Like, we're done. Because you were free. You're from the academy. We're not making a loss here. So it's like, right, you got promoted. You might have got jammy. You got lucky. With Werner, it's like, we've paid money here. We're not stupid. Something must be here. So, okay, let's give it a bit of time. And now we've given that time. And it's clear, like, the one job that we got him to do was, can you put the ball in the net, please? And I understand, we all understand, it takes time to adapt to yourself in the Premier League. Cool, you had that season. Now, okay, it's still the same. What's going on? Maybe he just can't. And that miss against Man United was like, horrendous. On my watch along, I was looking at that. I was going, we're not scoring today now. That's it. We're done. We're not scoring. And then we got the penalty, luckily. Werner's miss just still said it all. And I think he, as nice of a guy he is, and I think we all like him, not like, Morata and, others that have just, let themselves down. It's just a case of, we like you a lot. Thank you very much. You're just not cut out in terms of your ability here. That's it.
Do you know what? With Timo Werner, just to sort of wrap this up, there are players that you want to stay patient with. Like, for example, let's say Christian Pulisic. Even though he's so frustrating with all the injuries that he cops on a regular basis, but we've seen enough of Christian to say, you know what? There's a talented player there, and if he can overcome his injury situation with the right setup, we can probably get the best out of him, because he's not someone who's shy in front of goals. He likes to dribble direct, and he can finish in 1-9. He can be very impactful. Similarly with Kai Havertz, Matisse touched it earlier on in the stream that, Kai, it seems like there is that desire to develop and get better and better. Yes, there may be that off game here and there, but there's that desire. And that's something you say, you know what, I've seen enough to appreciate that there can be something here. With Timo, I've now waited, as you said, Younes, we've waited now 18 months. Matt Law was saying this in London is Blue podcast, that he's been around in the club for 18 months. And it's time now where you start seeing all the deficiencies he had last season. You maybe start seeing it getting better. Maybe finishing gets a little bit better. Maybe the first touch gets a little bit better. Maybe his decision-making gets a little bit better. When he gets the ball, he tends to drive wide. He goes away from goal. Maybe he thinks about cutting back inside goal. No, he doesn't. He still goes away from goal. His finishing is not getting any better. His first touch is not getting any better. So you have to. There has to be a time where you just say to yourself, "That's it. Enough's enough. We need to move on." We need to think about the club boys, we have to think about the club, that the club wants to win titles, you know, silverware left, right, and center. And that's the kind of player we won last season, Champions League, and he was a factor. But let's be honest, that ain't going to happen season after season. So we need to replace him and get someone better, for sure.
It's mad when you look in terms of how much he's actually done. Like I haven't seen this in a while, and I thought, let me just pull this up real quick. But the stats here are flipping scary, man. I mean,
15 goals in the Premier League.
Wow.
I think.
His goals in the
15
Premier
goals
League this calendar year is like 3, I think.
Mate, in terms of he's played 43 Premier League matches. He scored 7, and he's played 64 games for Chelsea and scored 15.
Yeah, that's not
Whereas the Bundesliga, 222 games, 91 goals. For Leipzig, 159 games, 95 goals. Like, it's night and day. Night and day.
That drop-off is absolutely staggering. As a percentage. As a percentage, it's got to be like 50%.
That tells me so much about the Bundesliga. And I told you, boys, I've seen a couple of matches in
you know
recent
what?
times.
Never shop in Germany again.
Younes, it's always on a regular basis 2v2. Always.
That's it, yeah.
2v2.
Yeah.
It's like the midfielders and the rest of the other team. Like, yep, that's a standoff. That's a dance-off. You guys go ahead. Battle it out. 2v2. There's a real game, the 90 minutes, and then there's all these mini games that happen. 2v2, 1v2, 3v2. Sometimes they get even fancy. 1v3. One defender against 3 attackers. Let's bring it on.
Yeah.
It's true. I've seen it, I've seen it.
Bring it on. And the keeper steps up, goes, mate, what do you think of 1v3? Make it 2v3. They chip it over the keeper. It's a goal. It's mad, man. It's mad.
I've said it at the start of this segment. Like, this is the make or break season. I don't think anybody will go in January, because I don't think you can bring in any attacker in January. Maybe
you can't.
Maybe you can, but I don't think there's many options in January. It's usually a difficult market to operate in. But when I look at Liverpool's attack and I see Jota scoring in the near post last night, I'm not gonna lie, I just think back to Liverpool and us tussling over Werner, and then they end up getting Jota, and I regret it. I actually regret it, because the way that Jota scores goals is, I'm jealous. I've never said it, but I'm jealous. That whole little scrap there, we lost. That finish, I've not seen Werner finish like that at all at Chelsea. That finish last night from Jota was ridiculous. We don't need to talk about Salah. That's he's on another planet right now. Jota's finish last night was ridiculous. And that is what we lack in this team. We lack a ruthless finisher who gets goals any way, shape, and form. And this is his make or break season, as it was for a few attackers in my head. And I think Pulisic, in terms of who's losing that fight, I think Pulisic's fitness definitely is not doing great there. He's missed most of the season, so he's definitely in a weak position as well. But at least he's talented, technically. Yeah. So at least I have that to fall back on. And his goal contributions to minutes ratio is really good in the Chelsea shirt. It's just his minutes is awful. but Werner, man, I do feel like I'm going to lose my patience with someone in that attack by the end of the season, I'm sure. And right now he's the favorite. If it was bookmakers taking odds, he's the one that you could place your bets on. So we'll see if that changes. But the guy is pissing me off, man, with them finishing there. So we'll see how that goes there. I mean, any more other points from Watford that you guys want to discuss before obviously we briefly touch on West Ham and wrap up?
We talked about Kai Havertz. We talked about the double pivot.
Yeah.
Talked about Mason Mount, I suppose. I mean, he was very good, obviously. The only thing, I just want to quickly touch on that Jota situation just quickly. Why can't we do business like that, boys? Why can't we do business like that? Why do we disrespect players from Premier League? Look at Liverpool, Mane from Southampton, Jota from Wolves.
Yep.
Henderson,
from Hull City.
Robertson from Hull City. Henderson from Southampton or Sunderland?
Henderson from Sunderland.
Yeah.
Van Dijk from Southampton.
Van Dijk from Southampton.
Southampton are their feeder club, basically.
Yeah.
Where is our feeder club? Seriously, Younes, where's our feeder club?
Arsenal, are you up for that?
I don't want anyone from Arsenal.
They used to be, I suppose, but we need to look within And I'd be amazed that as if we can't find a single player that can't fit in our style.
Get Antonio. Bring in Antonio. West Ham will raiding you now.
And look,
Matisse, tell Corey we're coming for his lads.
For example, Rafinha. Rafinha is now, I think there's a strong rumours with Liverpool. Watch Liverpool take this player, and this guy's going to be the next big thing in Liverpool. And he suits that style, that rock and roll football. Who's like another player?
Rock and roll football.
Yeah, rock and roll football, man. Who's been balling out lately? Another one.
I'm just trying to think
at the Premier League.
I feel like there's a player here that we're missing.
We are missing someone. Rafinha's doing well. West Ham, obviously, Antonio, but
we don't put him up there. We've got Lukaku.
Yeah, we got Lukaku. Do Brighton have anyone? Brighton? No.
Nah.
Aston Villa? Not really.
This level. Aston Villa would have been Grealish.
Saint Maximin, Newcastle.
Maximin, yeah.
Semi,
Newcastle,
not really.
Terrible.
Grealish would have been that guy. Grealish would have been that guy for Aston Villa, obviously, with the chances that he's created season after season, especially in the inverted, role. I think it probably might have suited him, but
Grealish, Matisse, what happened? Why?
100 million, I don't know.
100 million, though.
It's a lot. I don't know if he's really worth all of that. I think Bernardo Silva is him and Jota are two players that I really, really like because they work hard, but their efficiency. I love efficiency in attack, of course, because that means you're just doing the business. I think right now, two of the top players outside of obviously Salah, who's just indispensable and untouchable, but Jota and Bernardo Silva right now, and Bernardo Silva's finish again against Aston Villa, ridiculous on the half volley. It reminded me of Juan Mata against Man United when Torres put the cross in. He just hit it when it was still in the air and just roofed it. Them two players there, I would absolutely love to have at this club. They're just exactly what you want, especially in a title race. We're lacking it right now, so we need to pattern up there. I mean, but before
I do want to say very quickly, as a positive, on yesterday's game, we played badly.
Yeah.
Shocking if we're being real in terms of some portions of the game, but we got 3 points.
Yeah,
that's a good sign with players that aren't normally in the team, and the struggle and the fact that we were poor and we still somehow got a win away at Watford, who played really well that night. That's a good sign. If we're looking to win the Premier League title, there are going to be nights like this where things don't go your way, but you claw out and you get the result. And we got the result. So fair play. That's the positive.
Last December, we lost these sort of games.
Yeah.
We got battered last December, these sort of games. Yeah, man. I mean,
Everton away, Arsenal away, Wolves away.
Yeah. Lampard sacked.
Yeah. And credit to Thomas Tuchel, because I think he bounced back from the weekend. I wasn't impressed with Tuchel at all. With his substitutions being so late. But I think today he was really proactive as hell. Like he spotted that Saul needed hooking, he hooked him. He spotted that he only had one sub left after the injury of Trevor, and he still brought on Lukaku. Yes, he didn't really do anything, but he was proactive and he took risks. He took risks. Brought on Ziyech, went to a back four. Allowed us to get that extra attacker on the pitch.
Christian Pulisic was on the sort of right wing back, wasn't he?
Yeah. Pulisic went to right side. I don't know if it was a back four or not, because at this point,
I think it was still a back three.
I wasn't really watching from an analytical point of view.
It looked like a hybrid. It looked like on attack, we're a back four, and defense, Pulisic drops way back and becomes a back five, pretty much. So.
Ziyech and Mount in the pockets and Kai up there as well. So really proactive from him. And especially when you're having to deal with so many issues, injuries-wise, before the game, and then Trevor gets injured as well during the game. Hopefully he's okay, because we can't afford for him to be out as well. Mendy picked up a little knock. He carried on. Ziyech, I was worried he was going to be down as well. He carried on. So credit to the players as well, because they were in a fight and it was a proper battle out there. So, yeah, man. On to West Ham. Are we confident for West Ham? Is the question.
They're in a bit of a mud, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I want to say they're in the mud. I think last two games they've definitely dropped off. Obviously, they lost to City and they drew with Brighton, but that just means
they play yesterday.
Yeah. That just means their
Before
tails
that-
are up.
Before that, they lost to Wolves as well, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, they're having overall a good season, but the fact that they're on a little bit of a dip just makes it even worse for me because it means they have extra motivation to come into this game and do the business. So, yeah.
And at the London Stadium, it does tend to be a place, recent history, where we go and it's a bit of a struggle. So
Yeah. I
I'd like
remember
to
an
think
absolute
that we get
disaster
the
class
result.
out there.
Yeah. It won't be easy. West Ham, bubbles, all sorts. Like, they'll be up for it. They'll be
I'll
up
pop
for
those
it.
bubbles, man.
Yeah, you're getting soap in your eyes and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm running my excuses now. He had soap in his eyes. That's why there was a turnover on the ball in midfield.
Against United, Jorginho had lights in his eyes. Now we're going to have bubbles in their eyes. Like, losing
Can't
the
play
ball.
Saul now. This is it. Can't call Saul. This is not the game for him. Them bubbles pre-match. One of them hits his eyes. We're fucked.
all I'm going to say that we better be up for physically because I think West Ham's going to bring it.
Very physical.
Antonio, obviously. So in defense, we better be on target. One of the boys has to come back. Jorginho has to come back. He didn't feature, so it looks like he was definitely doubtful. He had some sort of injury, but I hope he's feeling all right.
Reece James
For the West Ham. Reece James has to come back.
Has to be there.
Is he injured? Because he wasn't. Was he in the bench? He wasn't even in the bench.
They were all him, Timo, and Jorginho were all doubts for this game.
And no one cares about Timo. But Reece James and Jorginho, like Reece is going to be all right.
He wasn't time. This is done fucking about now.
Yeah, no, it's over. Like, oh wow, Timo, you're fit. Where do I play you? Where do I play you? In the bench, please. Right there. Reece James is important. I don't know if you guys saw him in the bench. I'm not sure if you guys saw him.
He wasn't on the bench. No, just Jorginho was the one.
He wasn't on the bench.
So he better be there. Jorginho better be there. And then if Jorginho is there, I'm happy. If it's Ruben, I know it's not the greatest, but at least it's not going to be so disjointed like Saul and
Kante might make it back. Might.
Bro, I beg, please.
But then, if Kante does make it back, do you rush him in a physical game and then he could pick up another injury and then we're screwed for the rest of Christmas?
I'll take the 3 points and rush him. I'll take the 3 points and rush him. He can miss the next 3. I don't care. Give me the 3 points.
Brother said stick a needle injection, keep let's move.
Let's get me the 3 points Kante against West Ham and not play for the next 4 games. I don't care. Give me the 3 points. Very important. West Ham.
This is the most difficult game for sure. After
exactly
like Leeds, Aston Villa.
Yeah, 3 easy ones after this. Just give me this and then Kante go on a holiday. I don't care. Do what you need to do. Fix your knee. Fix your body. Play this game. Take your paycheck. Come back January.
Oh,
do what you need to do. Yeah, man. I can't have Saul and Ruben off the sheet, man.
If we have Saul in that midfield again against Declan Rice and Suchek, we're fucked. I'm telling you that right now, we're fucked. You may as well just go home. Everybody just pack up your shit and go home because this is not going to go well.
Declan be laying the smackdown on Saul, man. Oh my god! And watch Chelsea football Twitter just go all over in Declan Rice because he smashed Saul. Give him a proper opposition, man. A proper opposition. Let's see what he can do. But I'm semi-worried about it, boys, but we'll see. Like,
it depends on the press conference. It really just does. The press conference is where the game starts. If I find out that these guys are not back, then
pray.
Even Alonso, boys.
Like, that's my final question of the show.
Bowen,
do you start Alonso against Bowen?
Lanzini, Bowen, Fornals.
We ain't got a choice. This is why I'm saying Reece James has to be fit because if he's not, we're gonna have both sides exposed pretty much. Like when you look at the wingers and who they have in terms of their attacking areas, it's pace.
Benrahma on the other side.
Pace. Benrahma on the other side, yeah. It's pace. So
do you start Alonso at left wing back or do you try something else?
We haven't.
I don't think Saul can go over there. That's cheated. This is
no,
not the game
it's too experimental.
Exactly,
it's too experimental.
It's not this game.
It's not the game.
Maybe Leeds
against Grimsby. Maybe if we had like a Grimsby, Saul left wing back. Try him out. See how he goes.
Let's have one friendly against some non-team just to try.
We do have a cup game. I don't know who is Brentford. We have a cup game.
No, we got Brentford
coming up. That's
semi-finals.
Brentford are very.
That's a quarter-final though. I want to win it.
Yeah, that's quarterfinals, Matisse. Come on.
Yeah, Brentford are very physical. I was going to say Leeds, but then Leeds have Rafinha.
Bro, create a match in the training field. In-house game. Try him out.
Just for Saul. Just for Saul.
Just for Saul. Try out. And maybe have Thomas Tuchel running at him in the left hand. So I'll see if he can manage that for starters. And we'll slowly build that level up.
Mate, let's have it right. Let's have it right. Saul's on the plane. He's on the plane.
So we're playing Alonso against West Ham.
Can we play Azpilicueta? Like, is that too far-fetched?
It is, isn't it? As much as we would like, go on then.
Forward, I think it is, yeah.
We can't have Eddie Hearn vibes here of go on then. Like, as much as I would want it.
Go on.
We can't. Alonso's playing.
Yeah, I think to be honest, you kind of just have to stick with Alonso because we know that he can be competent and he can have good performances out there. And he showed that at the start of the season. So you just have to hope that he gets to that level. That's probably your best shot until January. He's the most likely to actually deliver over there, unless you go over wing or maybe Hudson-Odoi or someone. But I don't want to do that. And I think that was obvious when Tuchel said, "Yeah, I thought about Callum could go there, Saul could go there, but Alonso's in charge." And by that he means, Alonso, this is your position. I shouldn't have to try any of these other options. So make this shit work until January minimum. In January, if Chilwell's not here for the rest of the season, in January we have to go into the market. We have to. Go and get a Goosens. Go and get the Dortmund brother. Can't remember his name.
Rafa Guerrero?
Yeah, Guerrero. Honestly, break the bank. If you have to spend 35 million, honestly, go and do it because...
Boys, what about Jeremy Doku, that Belgium guy or kid?
Who...
He was playing on the left side. A lot of people tell me that he's a winger, but surely he could do wing back as well.
Who's he play for?
Belgium. Jeremy
club?
Doku, I think. What's he play for, bro? Let me just quickly Google this.
I'm not sure. There's a Daka obviously that plays for Leicester. I was confused.
Rennes. He plays for Rennes in France.
Okay. You got Spinazzola with a great Euros, but then he got injured. That's a shame. I heard we was in for Spinazzola. And then he got injured.
Yeah, we were.
I was gutted when I heard that. Because he would have been a lovely second choice. He had a great Euros. He looked really good. I don't know how he plays in Serie A on a regular basis, but I'm sure he's competent. Must be. Yeah. Not that we've had a great experience taking players from that league. We did get Alonso from over there, and we did get Emerson from over there. So maybe not the best place to shop. Well, if all fails, Baba Rahman's also on the books. I assume so.
Big up. Can we get Djilabodji back? Just for the vibes.
Djilabodji was not left wing back and you know it.
Screw it.
Every time I hear the name Baba Rahman, have you guys seen the movie John Wick?
Yeah, about 8 million times.
They call John Wick, Keanu Reeves, Baba Yaga. In Russian, it's the boogie monster, Baba Yaga. It's coming. John Wick's a mad movie if you haven't watched it.
I'm telling you. Yeah, options out there are interesting, man. So yeah, big up. Baba Ramen noodles is an option as well. So there's a lot of guys, but big up to the chat. Smash up the icons. You already know what it is. Miz, let them know, bro, what content is coming out on that channel. What's going on?
Yeah. First of all, thank you heaps to everyone that consistent and constant manner shows support to the channel. Channel's doing really good. So thank you to each and every one of you guys. We're reaching 8.5K very soon. So we're going to drive towards 9K. So appreciate any sort of support that you guys show from here on in. I was thinking about doing a watch along for the Man United game against Arsenal. We'll see what happens. I'm starting to feel a bit tired as well after that Watford game. So I might just chill out. But you never know. There could be a watch along there. If not, the next thing will be tomorrow's Friday, right? So press conference again. Here we go. We start again. Preview. Pick the team. Get depressed. Wait for the match day. Get depressed even more. And hopefully we get the 3 points to make us happy. So yeah, that's where things are at. The other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen, that's where you can catch me.
Yeah, and you're right, man. These games are coming thick and fast. There's literally no time to breathe. Lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. It's ridiculous. Younes, bro, let them know where to find you and any content coming up as well.
Yeah, man. As you've seen, the calendar's mad now, so it's a case of finish one game, jump to the preview for the next one. So as Miz has put it, it can be not depressing, but worrying and down until we get the 3 points, and we're like, oh, okay, nice one, we got the 3 points. So expect a lot of that, heart attack FC and all that. This is Chelsea, this is what we do. So it's a case of just focusing on these games now. The preview for that game against West Ham will be coming tomorrow. For today, it's just a case of looking at a topic, and I think there's going to be a case to make about some of the points we've spoken today, Saul, Alonso, all of that. So I'll see. But a video later, preview for the game tomorrow, and then bring on West Ham on Saturday, and we move forward with the calendar. So Younes Talks Football.
Yeah. And just as I was just checking, there's a report on Lewandowski leaving and Werner obviously is a prospect.
That's
for Bayern
legit.
Being discussed. It is legit. So
that's legit. Yeah.
What? Bayern?
Yeah. He's Nagelsmann and Bayern Munich and Lewandowski leaving. I think Matt Law was talking about this as well. So I think that's actually going to happen.
We should rinse them. 80 million.
Do you know what? We could actually get a bit of money here. I know we bought him for 47 million, but Lewandowski going. They're looking for a striker. They want Werner. We could at least try and get minimum 35 to 35.
Nah, we can definitely make our money back. We can make our money back easily.
80.
60 or 55. 60 or 55. I want to make a profit. I want to make a profit. I want to absolutely rip the shit out of this one. 100%.
Yeah, it's Bayern Munich. It's Bayern Munich,
bro.
No, mate, you're paying.
We better have a representative that does what Matisse said. Do up a slideshow, package it all up. Goals and assists together. Goals and assists together.
Bro,
expected runs. I need to see that.
Expected.
Bro, get all that. I'm packaging his clips from Nagelsmann last time he was with him. This is what you're getting.
No Chelsea clip whatsoever. Just stick with Leipzig material.
What he did at Leipzig. Look what he did at Leipzig under Nagelsmann in a worse team. Now he's playing for you. Imagine what he's going to do with Gnabry and Sané. Bro, 60 million, 70 million. This brother,
80 million.
This brother at Leipzig was putting up like ridiculous numbers, like top 5 goal scorers in the top 5 leagues or something. He was putting up insane numbers at Leipzig. 91 goals in 120 something games, did you say?
91 goals in 222 games.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that as a presentation, innit? So if Marina's presenting, for example, she can be like, 91 goals in 222 games. And when someone goes, but what happened at Chelsea? We don't need to talk about that.
He never moved. At
Leipzig, what Chelsea? He doesn't play.
Do you play in the Premier League? No, you don't. So you don't need to ask me a question. You play in the Bundesliga. So here are the Bundesliga statistics. 60 million.
The Premier League's not relevant for you. It's not relevant.
60, and because obviously the current 60 million euros. It sounds nice. That's less than British pounds, but 60 million euros. That works for everybody.
And remember, he has 100 expected runs every game in the Bundesliga. 100 expected.
You know what?
Runs. Remember that.
A lot of things.
A
lot of things.
I wouldn't mind. Forget Lewandowski because I feel like we've already got Lukaku. Like I just don't understand how that would work. But one of their wingers or wide players or their attacking midfielders, 100%. That involved in a swap deal. Our Cobham brother, bring him back.
Musiala.
Bring him back.
Another one, yeah? Another one.
Yeah, bring him. Fuck it.
Bro, we can have set on.
So well. Fucking just bring him back.
I got my eyes set on Chiesa, man. I think we need.
Me too.
Me too. He's a rude boy, man. He's a rude boy.
He's only scored 1 goal. That's also rude as well in the league this season.
Look, this season, check out a couple of the other seasons. Last season,
I know. I got PTSD with attackers now. I'm not doing any propaganda. I'm done. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing any propaganda for anybody until they. I don't know. Something has to happen. Unless they're like literally staring at me in the face and their statistics are matching up with the eye test. So the statistics and the eye test. I'm not doing one without the other. Jota, Bernardo Silva, like there's only a handful of players now that, and they're not obviously even attainable, but there's only a handful of players that I'm actually like really gung ho. I like Chiesa, but statistics don't back it up. I have PTSD. The statistics this season are not good, so I'm worried. I'm worried now.
I do want to say at Juve, it's a whole mess. I mean, at Juve, it's a whole mess at the moment. Yeah, remember, they're going to get relegated. They're going to get relegated.
They're
What
gonna-
is wrong with that club, man? What
What do you mean relegated again? They just did that.
Have you not heard about the accounts
falsified
being
accounting.
raided?
Falsified accounting,
Not,
bro.
oh,
They
you
falsified.
better-
They
Not
falsified
again,
42.
guys, come on. You're really gonna get relegated to Series C again? Oh
No, Serie B.
like
Serie
20
B.
mil. Light work. Go on then. Fuck it.
So they falsified 42 transfers, including Ronaldo. And what if they get found guilty because their accounts got raided? So the authorities have all the data now. But if they found guilty, which they will be, they'll get relegated, and their league title under Sarri will be stripped.
I heard the Arthur Pjanic swap was illegal as well.
Yeah, that was illegal.
Probably was.
Arthur went for 72 million euros. I didn't even know that. Arthur went for 72 million euros.
I thought it was a swap deal.
Yeah, there was some money involved as well, apparently. It was like 72 million.
But Juve moved mad.
Ronaldo's wages was like 5 times the amount of any of the other players, and they shouldn't have been able to afford that. Christian Romero, that went, I didn't know this. I think he's on a loan.
He was on loan to Atalanta, was he?
So Juve sold to Atalanta for 13 million, and on the same day he went on loan to Tottenham with the condition that he's going to be sold for 42 million at the end of it to Tottenham.
I thought he was sold to Tottenham.
I don't know. Is he on loan or is he on?
I think he was sold. No, he was sold to Tottenham. I'm pretty sure.
Was it 42? Because the reports were saying it was something about 42 million.
Yeah, they did pay a pretty.
Anyway, so Juventus sold to Atalanta on the day for 13.7 something million, and on the same day Atalanta sold to Tottenham for 42 million. How's that happening?
Maybe
for the same
That's
player?
a bit mad. But the Italian club's moving crazy. What's mad as well?
Just Chiesa on loan from Florentina. Like who takes
two seasons?
No, but there's an obligation to buy there. So if they do get relegated, they're already in the deal with Fiorentina of having an obligation to buy Chiesa. They have to. So if Chelsea come in now, Chelsea can come in and go, "Hey, Juve, you guys have messed up big time here. Are you desperate? Clearly you are. All right, look, we'll bail you out. Just give us the player. Yeah, just give us Chiesa." So we have the upper hand on the negotiating table for Chiesa, and he doesn't want to play in Serie B. Let's have it right. What's funny as well, just to add a little bit of a point here, which is going to make us feel good. Paratici, who's now at Spurs as the director, was involved in this madness at Juve.
Oh yes, of course.
Of course, it's typical Spurs.
So he's going down.
So he's
Unlucky
Conte.
Him with Pavel Nedved as well. All of them are getting investigated into all of these matters. They're finished. They're gonna get done. That's it. Bottom line, they're gonna get done. And Chiesa is someone I feel like just fits our characteristic. Robust, energetic, bit of a it's got that shithousery in him as well. So I like that kind of character, man. If we can just prize him away from. And I was just I had a live stream the other day and I was looking at his Instagram, all the players that he follows. He follows a lot of Chelsea players and heaps of Liverpool players as well. Frank Lampard, he follows Frank Lampard. Do you know what I mean? He follows Steven Gerrard as well, but Frank Lampard, he only follows few clubs, Juventus, Fiorentina, and another Italian club, and Chelsea. And he doesn't follow any other clubs.
Fair play.
So
gonna have to do a little investigation.
He'd be interested.
Yeah, I got PTSD, man. I can't co-sign, but I hope it works out.
see what Timo has done to Matisse.
I'm not doing it anymore. I'm honestly not doing it anymore. I'm done. Absolutely done. Like I'm done. To be honest, at this point, it's just easier if they're from the academy because they didn't cost anything, so my expectations are low. When you pay for them, it just goes left. So we'll see. But
Matisse has more confidence in Michael Owen because he's proven in the Premier League, I guess.
Oh God, people! I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Smash up the icons. You already know what it is. Obviously, by the time this is out, that will be today's content. Obviously, for you there on Twitch, we have Flawless at 10, Big Six at 8. As well today, so you've got 2 things from me there back to back, and then Friday, obviously the preview. Might even go outside and film that, even though it's freezing cold, just to switch it up. And obviously the game against West Ham, I will let you know if I'm doing a watch along on Friday. I don't know what's going on there. I could get the call. You never know. Call Saul. And yeah, we'll go from there after that. So yeah, Smash up the icons. Big up your damn selves. Hope you've enjoyed the show in the chat. I would have been there with you in there at some point as well if I'm still in there now. Hello to my later self. And subscribe to the boys. Links are in description. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit next week. I don't even know what we're going to have to say next week after. God knows.
Bro, someone's getting murdered next week, bro. Someone's getting murdered, bro.
People, peace.